And good evening. Welcome to Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network, our final Coach's Corner of 2023. We'll take next week off for the Christmas holidays, and then we'll be back after the new year. And we are going to kick things off with boys basketball, and head coach Jim McDaniel from the Highliner boys joining us. How you doing, Coach?
Very well.
Well, we got a couple of games on your belt so far here since the last time we've chatted, Central Cass and Kindred. What have you learned about your team in these first two games?
Both games that were, I thought we played as well and as hard as I could have expected. I think we've realized we can play at a pretty high level. Those two games, in the top five. Those two are in the top five, and so for us to compete, and they had to play all the way to the end to beat us. It shows a lot of hopefully where we're going.
And with both these teams, Central Cass and Kindred, mostly, and I really saw more with Kindred here last night, very athletic basketball teams.
Yes.
All five guys on the floor, very athletic.
Very athletic. They got size. They're long. And to be in a game, to be in a game with a team like that, they've had success in years past, and at times, during the game we had them on the ropes a little bit, and we got behind at the wrong time, and then we're kind of scrambling at the end. So I hope the guys realize how good we're playing to be competing with teams like Central Cass and Kindred.
And you look too at both games. You don't have, everybody I think looked at Zach Sikor, who was going to be your scorer. He was going to because he was going to be your main guy. But here, Bryson Heck, he goes off for 11 in the third quarter here last night. Carson Eggert scores 13. Is this going to be a team where you can be very balanced offensively?
Yeah, I like teams where we can get a number of guys double figures. So then, one night these three guys are double figure. The next night it's two or three other guys. So I'm hoping we're going to be a team where we have some balanced scoring.
Well, now you look at your first three games. You get Central Cass, Kindred, and now Devils Lake, who's right now number one in Class A. And what do you expect here out of Devils Lake? They're another team that's long and has got some.
Yeah, I expect the same of what we've already been seeing. So if we can go to Devils Lake, play how we've been playing, basically I would like to see a dogfight just like we've been in. It'd be nice to get a win in one of these, but for us to be competing at this high a level in Class A, I can't ask for more from the guys. And right now we're learning a lot. So last night, Coach Whale has been at Kindred for a long time. I talked to the guys in the locker room. I said, our system, we're just a few weeks in, so we got a lot of growing to do. So for us to be competing with teams like the caliber we've been playing, I got high hopes for us going on into the season.
Is it a case as the season goes along, you guys learning how to win games like this?
Yeah, I think we talk a little bit about right now the guys, they don't realize that each possession is so valuable. When we're playing in the EDC in years past, there gets to be games where we get down by quite a few, and that possession, defensively or offensively, doesn't really matter. Where right now, when we know we're going to be right to the end, those possessions early in the game, they're kind of vital. Those free throws that we're shooting, they're vital. That missed layup, it's important. That's the difference in the game right now. So I think we're learning a lot about that right now.
It seems like, too, in these first couple of games, you're getting your outside game. You guys are hitting your threes, but maybe a little bit more need the down low to get that inside game.
Yeah, we've been talking inside stuff. We did today in practice a little bit, and if we can get balance inside outside, I like us to hit some threes, but I like the inside touch first. To come down and just hit a three. I think we could have a better possession than that. So.
And it looks like these first two games have been physical games.
They have, yeah.
Probably more physical than what we've seen. You look at your teams, your Fargo teams, it was a lot of finesse, and they just out-athletic you guys. But now they're moving people around.
Yeah, it's when the night ends, we're gassed. We're pretty tired. Because I've really been impressed. Like last night, our C squad, our JV, our varsity, three solid games. I couldn't have asked more for the guys. Every guy that stepped on the floor worked hard. The end of the night, we have guys that are playing 5-6 quarters a night, and for them to step in and play hard for every minute they're on the floor, that's why there's so many people in the crowd. It's fun to watch, and so.
And that JV game, the way that ended, and the crowd reaction, the energy. We've talked about it with a lot of people. There's been a long time since energy in the building like that, and that was just fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a fun atmosphere all around. And C Squad, they were down to start the second half, and we come back and get a win there. And the JV, people started, more and more people started filing in, and then to have a game like that come down to the wire and we get a win, it was a big win for our JV.
What's going to be a key for a win tomorrow night or on Friday night here against the Firebirds?
Well, I think right now defensively, I think we've been holding these teams, pretty well. Last night, 20-24. I'd like to score more than 20, but holding Kindred to 24 at half, I think that's a positive for us. So if our defense can be solid, we gotta get the rebounding one and done. They can get a shot. If we can prevent them from getting many shots on a possession, that would be good. And then, some of those wasted trips that we have, as we can cut down those. I'm hoping it's going to be the same of what we've seen as far as it's not going to be a game where you're sitting down and you can just relax. So it's going to be one way or the other. So I hope it goes all the way to the end and we're fighting right at the end and maybe we get this one. So.
Well, it'll be fun next week. Of course, the big holiday tournament after this weekend, and basketball is getting going here, and just a lot of fun right now. The guys just enjoying themselves right now.
Yeah, they really are. Yep, it's a good bunch. We have a good time in practice, and the guys have I think our team personality right now is a real fun group. It'll be fun. I think going to Devil's Lake on Friday will be. We've been at home. It'll be a fun trip for us. Sometimes those away games, getting a chance to ride on the bus, it really kind of pulls the team together. So it'll be fun to kind of see how we travel. So it'd be fun to watch the guys on that. So.
All right. Well, Coach, appreciate it for joining us, and good luck here on Friday night.
All right. I hope we get our first W, and it would be really something if it's against Devil's Lake.
There's a Christmas present for you.
Yeah, a little early Christmas present. That'd be fun. You bet.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coach Jim McDaniel from the Highlander boys basketball team. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here from the teachers' staff room at Valley City High School on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network, here live on YouTube. And now we're talking girls basketball with Coach Lennox Howard. How you doing, Coach?
Good.
I had to get, she's sitting with a nice Christmas outfit on. I had to get her on the show tonight. Coach Jimmy Howard joining us. And, well, Coach, off to a 3-0 start here for Highlander girls. And, I've had a couple of discussions trying to figure out, it's been a few years since a good start like this. I think the gentleman sitting in the chair over there might have coached the last 3-0 team that started off this kind of a year.
Yeah, I know since I've been here, I think the year that we went to state my first year, I think we might have been 2-1, but it's been really exciting taking it game by game, and we got to just keep doing that. And the girls are really playing well right now.
What have you learned about your team here in these first 3 games?
Resiliency. All 3 games, even I know the Oak Grove game, the score looked a little bit wider, but every team has made some runs at us, and we've responded, whether it's in the third quarter, whether it's in that quarter. Kindred gets the score down to 1, we go on an 11-0 run. They tie it or get close to tying it, I believe. In the fourth quarter, we go on a run, hitting some free throws to finish it. So we've been really resilient. Even looking at the Barnes County tournament, our JV, resilient. Every time teams made a run or they get down by a lot, they'd constantly make runs to get back into it. So just a bunch of girls that never quit.
And it's a mindset too. I mean, they got to realize, hey, we're in this game until that final horn sounds.
Yeah, and I think some of that, we had to be resilient. We had to be tough in the EDC because teams would make runs on us, and then we got to try to get back in the game. And so I think the mindset of just being able to handle some of those runs has really helped us. And being on the plus side when those runs happen, that we still have a little bit of a lead or we're not down by a lot, gives us the opportunity when we make our run to get back in.
Of course, 3-0 is always good. There are a lot of positives, but what are some things you still feel are work in progress?
Turnovers. I think we turn the ball over too much, miss some simple plays. Efficiency, shooting the ball, our percentage, I'd like to see that go up. And continuing to work on rebounding, we harp that. And then just continuing to grow, running our offense better. We're still not running that the way we'd like to see it. So it's nice that we still have a lot of work to do, I think. And so, it's nice to get the wins while you're doing that, but the girls show up every day and we're working to get better.
And you too, I think your team can be a balanced type team. Tess has been scoring, and I know Dakota had a good game here last time out against Kindred. Is that another aspect for you guys that you're a good balanced team or can be?
Absolutely. Just like Coach McDaniel said, it'd be nice to see 4 or 5 girls out there in double-digit scoring. And a different night, maybe a different kid kind of has a bigger night. And I would love to see some of our kids higher up on assists and steals. If you're doing that stuff, you're really controlling a lot of the game, and an assist is just as good as a score. So, in celebrating that stuff, yeah, we've had a couple times where we've got some kids that know how to close a game. They have that varsity experience, but we have a lot of young kids that are really stepping in and making plays and contributing as well.
Well, now you got to Devil's Lake as well. There's a doubleheader here on Friday night up at Devil's Lake, and it always seems to be interesting contests when you and the Firebirds get together. And what do you expect here? No different here on Friday?
No, I expect to see a lot of what we've seen in the past from them: the full court press, aggressive defense. They're aggressive when they rebound, and kind of almost the same thought process we have is when the shot goes up, we want that offensive rebound, the extra shot. And it seems like we go up there, it sometimes gets lopsided in their favor up there, and we get home here, it sometimes gets lopsided in our favor. And so, I know last year up there, we played them the first game of the season, and I think they beat us by 19. They come down here later in the year, we beat them at home by 20. So, we're right there. We're kind of, and I think with quarters, you're not going to see the game slip away from either team. And I think it's going to be all of our games I feel like have been a fight, and I think it's going to be a fight again on Friday.
And it's something I actually didn't even think to ask Coach McDaniel, but I'll ask you too. With quarters now, you kind of get that extra time out. Does that change your coaching philosophy or the way you coach a game?
Yeah, I'm still I'm still learning on how to sub in those situations. There's ways to use the quarter break to help with some of your substitutions and not having kids miss as much playing time or game time. And I've always used in halves, we got to play through a little bit of a thing, but all right, now there's this big run, we'll call timeout, and you can look at the quarter break and go, well, we can get to the quarter, we'll take that break, and now I have this timeout later in the game when I need it. I like to have a couple timeouts in my pocket late in the fourth quarter in case you need them, and so those quarter breaks help you to be able to save those.
I'll ask you the same question as far as keys. What's going to be key here on Friday night?
Taking care of the basketball. They like to turn teams over, force a lot of turnovers. Defensively, I think we've played really well all season, and that has turned into some offense for us. I would like to see us maybe shoot a little more consistently. That'd be a big key. If we can hit some open shots, shoot a little bit better, I think it'll make things a little bit easier. But offensive rebounding, really our offensive rebounding and keeping them off the offensive boards is going to be a huge key to that game. And I think whoever kind of controls that and keeps their turnovers down is going to have a good chance to win.
And getting off to a good start because you're going to be on their floor.
Yes.
So on the road, you want to get off to that good start.
Yeah, and that seems to be something we struggle with a little bit. All 3 games, I think we've been a little slow out of the gates. So hopefully we can get a basket or 2 early and kind of get ourselves going.
All right. You getting ready for Christmas? You excited for Christmas? Good. You've been a good girl this year, haven't you? Oh, she hesitated. She hesitated. Oh, she is throwing up the hands of. I'm not going to say anything. All right. Well, Coach, good luck here. Appreciate you joining us, and happy holidays to you and the family. And we'll see you again next year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone, and go Highlanders.
Coach Jimmy Howard and his co-coach here joining us on Coach's Corner. We'll be back with more. This is Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highliner Activity Network and our temporary digs here tonight. A couple of things to talk about what else is going on as far as Highliner activities or Highliners that are playing activities someplace else. Of course, we are paired with Jamestown in boys swimming and diving and in hockey, and as far as winter sports are concerned. And just one thing with boys swimming and diving, Bodie Haglin, the lone Highliner that swims for the Jamestown Blue Jays. They've had a couple of meets last week at Williston, and he had a couple of first places and a couple of second places. But one cool thing, though, with Bodie and 6 of his teammates, they have been invited to the Maroon and Gold Invite. Now, this is a very, kind of an exclusive, by invitation only, swimming and diving meet at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis. And the 7 state qualifiers, Bodie Haglin, of course, being one of them, were invited to come down there. That'll be the next meet for Jamestown. That'll be on January 5th. They'll be down at the University of Minnesota in this very large and by invite only swimming and diving meet. Hockey, Jamestown Blue Jay hockey, they are 3-3 on the year. And they're coming off what took 2 out of 3 games here last week. And Owen Struble, a Highliner, he had an assist in their last game in a loss to Minot. So he's one of the Highliners. Of course, we have 6 Highliners that are playing hockey for Jamestown. As of course the Highliners, that's almost half their roster are Valley City kids, and most of them are seniors that are playing hockey for Jamestown. And we've been talking basketball. Of course, the big night on Friday night, it will be C Squad, junior varsity, varsity, boys and girls in Devil's Lake. And it'll get started at 4:15 with the boys C Squad. And then the girls junior varsity will be at 4:15 or about, well, maybe closer to 4:30. And then the varsity junior varsity girls, and then the boys at 6 and 7:30. So again, it'll be doubleheader of basketball on Friday at Devils Lake, boys and girls basketball. Devils Lake boys, they are ranked number 1 in the state. Out of the 21 votes, they got 20 of the first place votes. The one went to Kindred, the team that we played last night. So you look at those first 3 games for Coach McDaniel and the Highliner boys, last year's defending state champ, Kindred, who's ranked number 2 in the state, and Devils ranked number 1. So pretty good barometers those first 3 games for Valley City boys basketball. The Devils Lake girls, they are receiving votes this year. And I didn't touch on it with Coach Howard, but the Highliner girls are ranked number 5. They did get into the top 5 in Class A this past week, so they are ranked 5th in the state with that 3-0 start. Devils Lake earlier in the year was one of the top teams in the state, but they are now falling off. They're 3-1, but they are receiving votes in the girls basketball poll, the most recent poll that just actually came out here yesterday. And of course, with Highliner activities, we were just talking about that holiday tournament. It's going to be a busy week next week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. 3 days. There'll be games here at the Hack, and they'll have one day, they'll have a couple of games over at the Bubble at Valley City State University. 8 girls teams are going to be here. 6 boys teams are going to be here, and you know, one of the girls teams is Botno, and the Botno Braves are one of the top teams in the state in Class B in girls basketball. They will be here. On the boys side, Killdeer, Shiloh Christian, Standing Rock, along with the Highliners. Beulah, I believe, is also going to be in town. So some great basketball coming up next week, and that'll be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Here on the Highliner Activity Network, we'll be video streaming the Highliner games here on the Highliner Activity Network for boys and girls over those 3 days. So that'll be a busy week, and we'll see. We might have some other coverage of some other games too, because I know requests have been out that maybe we'll be video streaming some of the other games as well. But stay tuned to our Facebook, to my Facebook page, and you can keep us updated. Also, Valley City Public Schools Facebook page, keep you updated on the schedule for next week. We'll step aside. We'll be back with more Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highliner Activity Network, and now we're going to move indoors to gymnastics, and Coach Sheila Anderson joining us from the Highliner Gymnastics team. How you doing, Coach?
Really good. How are you doing?
Fantastic, with the holiday season upon us here, and now the gymnastics team's got one meet under their belt, went out to Mandan for their Christmas meet, 114 plus for a team score. I guess for the first meet of the year, Sheila, how'd you feel they performed?
Honestly, I felt really good. We had literally 2 7th graders and 2 8th graders performing and competing for that meet because we had some others that weren't able to. So in all honesty, I thought it was a great meet, a great first showing for them. And I've been looking at the first couple of meets more as practice meets just due to the inexperience of the team and just trying to get meets under their belt, have them feel comfortable with what they're doing, work on upgrading some skills to get the routines where they need them to be.
And you too, you're not new to Highliner Gymnastics. You've judged meets, so you kind of knew what you had when you took over here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a great group of people to work with, and it's a great environment.
Right.
Yeah, the Valley City school system is always amazing. So,
And you talk about the skills too. Is that a case where each meet you maybe want to try to add something new to a routine and just slowly but surely build on it, so when it comes to February, they have it all in?
that has exactly been my goal. Just because, basically when you're competing a high school meet, the requirements for it are about a level 8 or 9 in club gymnastics. My kids were level 3 or level 4, so they have a long ways to go. But even with that, we can build their scores and build their routines with bonus. The bonus system helps you add points in skills that you can do. Maybe one has stronger dance or stronger acro, so we can look for things that will help them improve their scores with that.
And when you go, we get these younger girls getting a chance to watch the Dickinsons, and you watch Karski and do what she does, and just watching some of these gymnasts. Is that do you say kind of watch them a little bit? You're not taking from what they do, but just kind of watch their routine and see how they handle themselves?
Yep, exactly. Especially how they handle themselves. Even that, learning to carry the equipment in as a team, just having that team camaraderie and seeing the skills that they do and how they work to achieve those higher level skills.
When you took over, did you have any goals set, or because it was, it's kind of new and a young team, let's not worry about goals right now? Is that kind of your philosophy?
For the first few weeks, my goals have just been to, get them stronger, get them conditioned, help them to feel comfortable, learn a different system of discipline or whatever, because different people do things different ways, and it's all new for everyone. There's a lot of growing pains along the way. But no, really my goals are to help them to be as competitive as they can be, because I believe fully in each of those girls, and I know that they can achieve great things by the end of the season, especially. We've got a couple of months, so that's time to fix things, to improve things, to build on what they have and help them show their strengths.
Right. And Kinley Larson, I think she was out of 30 plus in the all around, but she's one name that people remember from last year. She's the veteran, if you will, on the team, as I think only an 8th or 9th grader.
Yeah, she is an 8th grader, and she did an amazing job. Yeah, just for the first meet out, I thought I was impressed with what she did. So when we do have Jess Ranasset will be joining us. Sam was there. She's a sophomore.
Yep.
Yeah. Lexi Heitzman, Lauren, Jade Williams was she's an 8th grader, and then Chloe is our other 7th grader.
Chloe Liebersbach.
Yep.
And Jess and Jade state competition, Jess state competition last year.
Yep, exactly.
And did very well in her first appearance at state. So it brings back a little bit of that experience. Yep. She knows what it takes to get there, and that's half the battle, isn't it?
It is half the battle, honestly. And honestly, Jess, I coached her when she was a little kid too, as a club gymnast. So that was nice to have her back on the team as well.
Wow, you've grown up.
Yeah, exactly.
What have you learned since the last time we talked?
Right, I know. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, no, so it's been amazing working with them so far. I'm really glad to have them, and
And when, like I said, you have judged, been a judge, does that help you coach them too, that really what judges are going to be looking for, especially for a young team that you have?
Well, I do think it does help me because I'm aware that they need these event requirements, and it's in my head easily.
Right.
It's not something I'm going to have to always research, and
Sure.
figure out. And then, as far as the bonus goes, or trying to figure out how to get the bonus, or noticing that they didn't make that connection, or those things, or I think that helps a lot.
And
Honestly.
no, Wapaton here tomorrow night
Yep.
with the Fargo teams. I think that's Davies South and North. I think they're kind of all
Yeah,
combined,
they are
aren't
combined. Yeah.
they? And which
Yeah.
is odd because I remember back in the day, it was South was like the Dickinson of the East.
They were, and it's changed so much. There's the east side of the state. We've only got 4 teams.
Yeah.
So it is a lot different because now the West is up to 8 with the addition of the team from Ray.
Yep.
So it is really interesting. The Wapaton squad, I think, is down to 4 girls. One was injured, so their numbers are pretty low. But
And I think Breckenridge was with them too, if
Yep.
memory serves. They're kind of
Yeah.
paired with Breckenridge as well.
Yeah, so-
it's a different bird now.
it is totally different. My older daughter competed high school for
Right.
up until the time she was a junior, and it was a lot different even then.
Right.
The number of girls that were out for it.
So when you get to tomorrow, do you say, okay, 114 was the first meet, let's look at a 116 or 117? Do you have that mindset or not?
It, a little bit. I want to improve, but like I said, the first
Sure.
2 meets, I'm just really trying to emphasize that we're getting out there, we're
Mm-hmm.
seeing where we're at, we're, doing the best that we can do, and then, Christmas break week, we'll work on other stuff and be
Right.
ready for our home meet after Christmas.
January
So-
5th, I
Yep,
believe, will be that
exactly.
home meet. And again, same team, think Fargo, maybe Jamestown and Wapaton, I think will probably be here
Yeah, I
for
think
that.
so.
And but that's the only one that we
Well,
have. So,
yeah, I
so if they get a
know.
chance, they got to come out and watch this team.
Yeah, exactly. We want as many people as we can to be there and
Perfect.
cheer them on.
All
That's
right,
one
well-
thing, gymnastics, you need to cheer the girls on.
Exactly, and they feed off that too,
They do.
don't they?
Yep, they do.
Especially on the floor, because seems like if the crowd can get into it with the clapping and the staying kind of staying beat with the music, that fuels the girl too.
It
doesn't
does, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm hoping we can get a lot of people there.
All right. Well, that'll be next Thursday or next
Next-
Friday.
yeah, Friday the 5th.
The 5th. It will be the home meet over at the Youth Sports Complex. But tomorrow night, Thursday night, down in Wapaton at Three Rivers Gymnastics.
Yep.
And well, Coach, congratulations on what's gone so far. I know and that was a big meet. Yeah, I think 10 teams out in Mandan.
Everybody but 2 in the state.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was a huge meet. So it was exciting to be there, exciting to see the other teams and see what everyone was doing.
Kind of a mini state tournament, if you will.
Honestly, it was.
Probably
Yep.
the same type atmosphere too.
It was.
And so, and again, 114 for the girls, a great,
They
a
really
great
stood
showing.
up to that challenge too. So
And
it
that's
was
the
amazing.
best part. You
Yep.
don't, you're not, the big lights didn't scare them. They were able to get out there and do their thing. Well,
Yeah.
appreciate you joining us. We
Yeah,
look
thank
forward to
you so
talking to you
much.
throughout the year, and good luck here tomorrow night in Wapaton.
All right, thank you so much.
You bet. That is Coach Sheila Anderson joining us from the Valley City Gymnastics team. We'll be back and wrap things up here for Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network. And back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network. And one thing that I have to do before we wrap up the show tonight, I got to send out a shout out and an apology to one of the Highlander boys basketball players on the C squad. Didn't realize that he had blood on his jersey in the first half, and he switched to another player's jersey who wasn't playing in the second half, and I was calling him by the wrong name for 16 minutes. And I apologize, Kai Matson. You had 8 points. You didn't have 1. You scored 8. And so now I'll know. Now I know what you look like without a football helmet. And I will get it right here when we do games. So again, my apologies, calling Kai Matson by the wrong name last night, the entire second half when he scored and had 8 points last night for the Highlander C squad. They were winners 63-57. Well, again, as I said, our last show for 2023, we won't have a Coach's Corner next Wednesday. Everybody off for the Christmas break, and then we'll be back on the 3rd of January, and our first show after the new year. And again, we'll be coming off that holiday tournament that we'll be talking about, boys and girls. We'll have the first gymnastics meet. Will be coming up that Friday. So lots to talk about when we are back with our first Coach's Corner for 2024. Again, I thanks to our guests tonight, Sheila Anderson, along with Jim McDaniel and Jimmy Howard and Lennox Howard, who are joining us as well. And of course, as usual, cameraman, technical director Jaden Johnson working behind the scenes as usual. Have yourself a very safe and Merry Christmas. We will see you again in 2024, back at our normal stomping grounds over at the Hack. It's Coach's Corner here in the Highlander Activity Network.